Before algorithms were a thing on social media, your brain was running one and using it to create your anxiety. My name's Dave Cottrell. As well as being a lived experience educator in mental health for the best part of a decade, I've also lived with social anxiety my entire life, so strap in because this one could get personal. If you're like most people with anxiety, you've probably got an internal cinema running 24/7 that shows you not only all the bad things that have already happened, but all the bad things that could still happen yet. And this is kind of annoying. So let's get into how we can do something about that. The reason we talk about this with an algorithm is because it works almost exactly like social media algorithms do this day. An algorithm doesn't work on what you like the most. It works on what you watch the most. And that is an important distinction. So on YouTube, you may be a cat person, but if you watch a dog video all the way through just to see what those little buggers are up to, the algorithm is going to think that you enjoyed that dog video more, and it will give you more of that in your feed. Now with cat and dog videos, this isn't particularly harmful, but our algorithm will push to the top things that we engage with more, that we watch more, that we give more view time with. And this is important to know because with social media, we might watch things that we don't like. We are encouraged to watch things we don't like. That's where the concept of rage bait comes from. And because we spend time watching it, we get pumped more of it. It's bad enough on social media, but when this is happening inside your own head with negative things that you may have done in the past or negative things that might still happen to you in the future, it's so much worse. Now, I'm going to use a term here that you might not like. See, we have trained that algorithm through our life to make us see over and over again the negative stuff. Yes, of course, there's a baseline algorithm there called negativity bias. Anxiety has a purpose. It's not just there to make us feel terrible. It's there to keep us safe. Its purpose is to stop us from going outside of our comfort zone, because inside our comfort zone, it's just not as dangerous. But also inside our comfort zone, we'll stay small, we won't grow, we'll stagnate. And in the long run, we're going to regret that more. So how have we trained this algorithm? Well, if you were to go home and the TV was on, already playing your least favorite movie of all time, I'd like to think you wouldn't get a big bowl of popcorn, sit down and start stuffing your face going, I hate this, give me more, and watch the whole thing. However, when it comes to anxiety, when our mind throws up something from the past where something has gone wrong, we do sit and we watch every embarrassing, painful second of it. This trains our brain to show us more of that. Just like the algorithm on YouTube shows you related videos, the algorithm of your anxiety will take that past embarrassment and use it to suggest videos to you of future things that could possibly go wrong too. Remember that time that you wet yourself in science? That was me. Well, here's that time that you're going to wet yourself on stage in front of 1,000 people. Well, hopefully that 1,000 people thing's in my future, but I'm hoping to not wet myself in that situation. I joke, but this is the reality of it. Because we've had that past negative experience, rewatched it and given it power, the algorithm will now throw up things to you that will stop you from getting into a situation where that kind of thing might happen again. This is where anxiety wins, when it stops you from doing things, when it controls your life to the point of which you're not experiencing the things that you truly want to do. And we just can't have that. So how do we stop it? Well, in YouTube, you would jump into the search bar and type up something else that you want to see. And the same thing happens here, just no one's ever told you can do this. Inside your mind, I want you to go into the search bar and put in what you want to see. I want you to think about what you would like to see in your head and then create it. And trust me, you can do this. Because if I say to you right now, don't under any circumstances think of a purple gorilla doing a handstand on a skateboard, you're already there. If your mind is capable of creating anxious movies for you to watch, it is also capable of creating confident movies to watch. It's for this very reason that whenever I see someone who struggles with overthinking, I don't tell them to just stop overthinking. I tell them to put that superpower to good use and overthink something that they want to overthink. Our brains may have control over us, but it's not complete control. And that control is a two-way street. We can control that mind back by simply sitting in the director's chair and choosing a better movie to watch. I have a whole different video on the cognitive behavioral therapy model of anxiety, where anxious thoughts lead to anxious feelings that in turn lead to anxious actions. That is what's going on here when we are watching those things back. If you replace those images in your head, those movies in your head with confident ones, those confident thoughts lead to confident feelings, which lead to confident actions. You may think this sounds too good to be true. And to be fair, it is one of those things that is very simple, but not necessarily easy. When you sit down to do this, your algorithm is so ingrained that it is going to continue to throw up these negative images. And in order for you to replace these negative images with more positive, more confident images in your head, it's going to take work. This is a little bit like when you choose to put something else on and then a pop-up ad comes in. You're going to experience the same kind of thing whilst you're making these changes. If you sit there and imagine being on that stage and not wetting yourself, or better still, being on that stage, being powerful, being important, being confident, being calm, smiling, having open body language. If you put the details in like that, what you will find is that you start to feel those things right now. But what you will also find is the pop-up ads, the anxiety videos, they want to still sneak on in. But again, think of how you would handle a pop-up ad when you're trying to watch something for real. If it says you've got 5 seconds until you skip, you are hovering over that skip button from 4.5 seconds. You are not watching the whole ad because, oh, I really love this one where the Range Rover goes across the desert. We skip it, we go back to the thing that we want to watch. And no matter how many of these ads come up, we go back to the thing that we want to watch. By repeating this over and over again, we train the algorithm to start giving us these things. And in time, you actually might find that the confident image or looking forward to the best possible outcome does start to come a little bit more naturally. This is totally worth putting the effort in, and it is nothing short of life-changing when you do it. But the main thing to remember is that negativity comes natural, but positivity takes practice. But you are worth the practice.